Well, a group of newly elected Republican House members promising to be the conservative answer to Democratic Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and other progressive Democratic members called the Squad. They call themselves Freedom Force. One of the members, Florida Congressman-elect Byron Donalds, explaining why they joined forces.
The left has people who are out there every single day pushing this narrative that America is some worse off country, that we need a heavy hand from government, that you have to have these ultra progressive left wing policies. We're here to say we're a fight, we're a stand against that. We're going to support the Constitution. We're going to support free markets. We're going to support individual liberty. And we're going to take that message to all voters across America.
Let's bring in our panel. Kristin Tate is an analyst for Young Americans for Liberty, and Richard Fowler is a Fox News contributor. Welcome to you both. Thank you for coming on. Kristin, to you first. What do you think of the so-called Freedom Force? You too, Richard. The so-called Freedom Force that say they want nothing more than smart policies. They want to follow the Constitution, and they want individual liberty, kind of pushing back against the Squad. Kristin.
Trace, this is fantastic. Joe Biden might have won the White House, but the election was also a repudiation of the left's far-wing agenda down ballot. And this contrast between the far-left Squad and the Freedom Force, I think, kind of perfectly symbolizes the ongoing battle for the soul of the nation right now. You know, on one hand, you have this ideology that wants top-down federal control of every aspect of American life and wants to really dismantle capitalism. Then on the other hand, you have these folks who have this deep love of country and the principles the country was founded on and want to get the government out of the way to let Americans live out their dreams and to let entrepreneurism flourish. Frankly, Trace, every single Republican in the House should be a Freedom Force. Democrats should too. This really should not be very controversial, but for too long now, the left has utilized its allies in the media and corporate America and big tech to really push this radical and poisonous ideology that just worships government and could tear this country down. So this is a good thing to see.
Yeah. So Kristin is a yes. We're taking that. Kristin is a yes on the Freedom Force. I want to play this soundbite from GOP Congresswoman-elect Nicole Malliotakis from New York, and then get your reaction, Richard. Watch.
I think what you're going to see is a group of individuals who are going to serve as a counterbalance to the values of the Socialist Squad. I mean, what we stand for are freedom, liberty. We love this nation.
The theme here, Richard, is that the progressives don't love this nation as much as the Freedom Force does. Your thoughts on that?
Listen, last time I checked, I love this country, and so does the president-elect and the vice president-elect. And I think that's sort of what the most shocking thing about the Freedom Force is, because they're trying to debate love of country. And I think every American who serves in our government loves this country. And if the fight is around ensuring that Americans have access to health care, or ensuring that Americans have access to high-quality public education, or ensuring that Americans don't have to wait in miles and miles-long food lines to have a meal, then let's fight it out. Right? Because that's what America should be. America should be a place where opportunity and capitalism reign, but it should be also a place where we look out for the most vulnerable, and we ensure that everybody has access to equitable treatment and equitable health care and equitable education. And that's what Joe Biden and Kamala Harris is going to do when they get into the White House.
Yeah, I want to move on topics because this fascinates me. This is Kamala Harris, who you mentioned just a moment ago, Richard. She's talking about small businesses, and she tweeted the following here. Small businesses, especially black and minority-owned businesses, urgently need relief to survive the effects of coronavirus this winter. Joe Biden and I are committed to helping these businesses during this pandemic and get them the support they need to thrive in years to come. But when the majority of those minority-owned small businesses were under pressure during the riots and the unrest, and they were getting looted and robbed, Kamala Harris tweeted this, quoting here again, "If you're able to chip in now to the MNF Freedom Fund to help post bail for those protesting on the ground in Minnesota." So she wanted to help those who were being arrested for looting those businesses a few months ago. Now, Kristin, she wants to help them.
That's exactly right. I mean, look, I'm not going to criticize Harris for her tweet. Small businesses are the lifeblood of this country. They employ about half of Americans, but I will criticize her for her hypocrisy because her previous actions and rhetoric have not been particularly supportive of small businesses. It was absolutely heartbreaking to watch these business owners just look on as their hard work and dreams went up in flames, often literally during these riots. And Harris tweeted out that people should be bailing out these criminals who did this. And then, meanwhile, of course, Harris and Joe Biden and these other left wingers have been supportive of the draconian lockdowns that have been absolutely devastating to small businesses. And they've indicated that they would continue to support these measures and more strict lockdown measures when they get into office. So I don't have a lot of hope for small business under a Biden-Harris administration. I mean, if you want small business to flourish, you certainly don't want to repeal tax cuts and put in place more lockdowns. So I support her tweet here, but it really, it flies in the face of her previous rhetoric.
And back in the summer when she issued that tweet, Richard, it was kind of interesting because there was some noticeable pushback even among Democrats for her saying she wanted to come out and generate some money to get some of these people who were looting these businesses out of jail. Your final thoughts?
Well, listen, it's worth pointing out that both Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have been pretty clear about where they stand today. And they stand pretty clearly on this. They don't want to shut down the economy. They want to shut down coronavirus. And they're going to do everything in their power to do that. And it's worth pointing out that the New York Federal Reserve released a recent report in August that indicated that almost half of Black businesses have shut their doors since the beginning of this pandemic. The White House has said nothing about that. Kamala Harris and Joe Biden are not only concerned about that, but in one of the first legislation I think you're going to see them pass in their first 100 days will be a stimulus package targeted at these businesses because they understand, as Kristin just mentioned, that these businesses are the lifeblood of this country. And so if you're losing half of Black businesses, we have a real economic problem in this country that's causing a lot of pain to a lot of communities. And Kamala Harris is focused on that.
Yeah, a lot of the businesses we talk to are not very confident that they're going to get a bunch of help from the incoming administration. Kristin, Richard, good of you both to join us. Thank you much.
Thank you, Trace.
Good to see you.